This is a story called The Little Monsters at Christmas, Chapter 14. The kids give some of their old toys and clothes to the kids living in poverty at Christmas. The kids are out playing on the swing when some new kids come up and ask if they could play too. Of course, the gang said yeah, they could play on the swing anytime they wanted and they didn't have to ask. Then Kicker noticed that none of them were wearing a winter coat or anything warm, and they were all shivering with cold. She also noticed that they were all wearing clothes that were all clothes. They were all wearing clothes that were and shoes, and all. They were all wearing clothes and shoes that didn't fit them. She asked them why they were dressed that way and why they weren't wearing a winter coat. The oldest of the kids told her that their parents couldn't afford to buy them stuff. She told her that they both lost their jobs and their house had burnt down with all their belongings in, leaving them with nothing. Kicker had an idea, and when the new kids had gone, she told the others, "You know, guys, there's other kids like Sophie and her brothers and sisters, and we could help them. We could gather up all our old things that we don't need or want anymore, and we could get other people to do the same. Then we could give everything to Sophie and her family and other families in need." Everyone agreed, and then Stampy said, "We could go carol singing again, and the money we earn we can give all of it to the poor and needy like Sophie and her family." Again everyone agreed. They all went back to Kicker's for a sleepover, and all their parents were there for Kicker's dad's birthday party. When they told their parents and families what they planned to do, they thought it was an amazing idea. The next day the kids got all the stuff they wanted to donate together, and then they went to people's houses and explained what they were doing, and everyone donated something. People didn't just donate clothes and toys and stuff, they also gave the kids money. That day, by the time they'd finished, it was too late for them to go carol singing, so they went the next day. Before they went round all the local shops, they went round all the local shops to see if they would donate food or anything, and every one of them did. When they went into town carol singing, they went in the St. John's Centre and stayed there all day. That day they raised over £300 between them. They just couldn't believe how generous people were being. The next day they went into the Merrion Centre and did their carol singing in there. Of course, when they stopped for lunch, they couldn't resist playing tricks on people and getting up to mischief. They had lunch in McDonald's, and whilst they were in there, they put pink cushions on some of the seats. When anyone sat on them, they howled in pain. They also put whoopee cushions on the seats, and when people sat on them, they deflated, making a loud farting noise. Of course, they thought this was hilarious, and so did the staff and customers. Then they all went round handing out their fart sweets to people, and when they ate them, they farted constantly. After lunch, they went back to the Merrion Centre and did some more carol singing. When they went home, they had their tea at Creeper's house, and then they went to the local shopping centre to do some more carol singing for a couple of hours. The following day it was snowing again, and the kids decided to just go to the local shopping centre again. However, when the staff at the local shopping centre found out what they were doing, they called the news crew again and the newspapers. Every one of the shops gave the kids something for the poor and needy. Some gave them money, some gave them toys, some gave them food and household essentials, and some gave them clothes and shoes. Sophie's mum was pregnant with her 8th child, and she needed everything for the baby. When Mother Care found out, they gave her over £2,000 worth of baby stuff. She couldn't believe how generous they were. Smith's Toy Shop donated over £4,000 worth of toys for Sophie and her siblings for Christmas. When the newspapers and the news crew came to speak to the kids, they couldn't believe that they were going to be in the newspapers and on TV again. The kids didn't go anywhere the next day because Kiko wasn't well, but the day after that she was fine, so they all went carol singing in town again. This time they went into Victoria Quarter, followed by the news crew and newspaper staff. After a couple of hours, they took a break to have some lunch in McDonald's again. And yes, you guessed it, they got up to mischief and played tricks on people again. They put whoopee cushions and pink cushions on as many chairs as they could. When anyone sat down, the whoopee cushions deflated, making a farting noise, and the pink cushions stuck in their bums, making them howl in pain. Thankfully, everyone saw the funny side. After lunch, they went back to some serious carol singing, followed by the news crew and the newspaper staff. That day, when they'd finished, they went home for some tea, and then they went carol singing door to door for a couple of hours. The next day, they went back into town to do some more carol singing, and this time they went into the Queen's Arcade. They sang their hearts out for about 2 hours, and then they went for some lunch. This time they went in a cafe in the Queen's Arcade, and they were given a free meal of their choice, a free dessert of their choice, and a free drink of their choice. Then they went browsing round the shops for a bit. Whilst they were browsing round the shops, the girls spotted a shop that sold lifelike dolls, and they couldn't take their eyes off them. They went into a toy shop, and the boys spotted some computer games that they wanted. Unbeknown to them, the staff in both shops put stuff aside for each of them. After browsing round the shops for a bit, the kids went back to their carol singing. That day, when the kids went home, they were on the news again. The next day, their pictures and their story was all over every newspaper in the country. People from all over the country started sending them donations. It wasn't just money donations that people sent, they also sent clothes, food, toys and other things. The kids just couldn't believe it. They continued with their carol singing for a few days, and every day they went on TV and in the newspapers. Once the kids had finished their fundraising, they added up all the money they'd raised, and without the donations from other people, they'd managed to raise a whopping £25,000 with the money donations from people around the country. With the money donations from people around the country, they'd raised over £2 million. They went on calendar, and they were presented with lots of presents for them to keep, including a £200 voucher each to spend in any shop. However, news of what the kids had done was heard in other countries like America and Australia. They also sent packages and money donations to the kids. In the end, the kids had managed to raise over £8 million. End of chapter 14. Hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas.